Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man, White Wolf, and welcome back to another exciting training session. Today, we're going to be doing body development, focusing on the 5 foundational stances in the Shaolin arts. For us to begin, we're going to bring our feet together. We're going to raise our arms in alignment with our breath, bringing our hands together and then down to the chest. We want to pay respects to God, to our ancestors, to the masters and grandmasters, all elements that allow us to learn this knowledge now. Once we pay our respects, we will bring our hands together and bring it to a lower energy center, right below the belly button. We want to take 3 deep breaths. Once we take our 3 deep breaths, we're ready to go. So I'm going to demonstrate the sequence here. The 5 stances that we're going to be working on today are called Bu, horse stance, Gong Bu, bow and arrow stance, Bu, drop stance, Xie Bu, cross stance, Xie Bu, empty or cat stance. And the big thing with these stances is there's a lot going on at one time. But me, at my level, I've had many injuries, and my level of strength is not quite there yet. And so I really just hope to bring people in who are not at the level of some of these people we see doing these stances at such an amazing rate. I mean, we're talking about the Shaolin masters or a lot of these practitioners who've just continuously practiced. It's so impressive the level that you get to. And me at the level that I'm at, I feel like I've already came a very long way. And I just hope to encourage others who are just starting out that you don't have to be the strongest or the most flexible. It is a process that takes a long time to develop. So let's just get started. So the first stance we're going to be talking about is Bu, horse stance. When we're doing Bu, we want our feet to be pointed straight or no more than a 45-degree angle. As we move up to our knees, we're not pushing them out, we're kind of pushing them inwards, but we really want to engage the inner thighs and the outer thighs. It's really about finding an equilibrium between pushing the knees out and pushing them in order to engage the inner thigh, the quads, the hamstrings, the outer side of the quads and hamstrings. The hip, we are turning inwards and we're engaging the glutes. We want our back and glute to be like a straight line. Our feet, we want to be gripping the ground. We want to be extremely grounded, like we're sticking to the ground. It's good if you have somebody like a partner who can push against you to test if you're sticking to the ground, if you're grounding yourself. For this exercise, it's really more about finding how to engage all our muscles, how to fit into the right positioning. Our knees, we don't want it to go past our toes. And so we really want to start developing the mobility in the ankles, in the knees, in the hips. The strength will come as the mobility gets better. And so it's better to start up higher and finding that place where you can hold the position. Now, as far as developing, for me, how I'm currently developing, obviously you got reps. You go up, you go down, up and down, and you want to try to do them as quick as you can. You know, it's like your squats. You want to just get that, start working those fast twitch muscles. You also really want to focus on holding. I think holding is probably the most important part. Getting used to holding position for 30 seconds. That is extremely tiring. Like, whoa. And as you keep going, you just start to realize more about these positions. Me here, I'm turning around and I'm putting my toes against the wall and I'm getting into the position. And I'm using this to help me really gauge where is my muscle development and where do I need work on that mobility to bring myself lower? There's a lot of mobility training. But once again, because me, I'm definitely not, I'm really at a very low level. And I just hope to show that you don't have to be the best to get started. Once we get done with Mabu, we're moving on to Gong Bu, bow and arrow stance. For the transition, we start in Mabu, we shift the weight to the right leg, we turn the ankle, pointing the toes to the left on the left leg. Then we shift the weight onto the left leg, turning the ankle of the right leg to be in alignment. The big thing about this position is the leg that is bent has most of the weight, like 80% of the weight. Once again, you don't want the knees to go past the toes. The back leg is straight, and it feels like the pressure comes off the heels, in my opinion. Once again, we really want to be gripped into the ground. The spine is a big one for this position. As you see, I'm having my arm of the opposite leg come all the way across to help me twist my spine into the proper alignment. Everything wants to be straight from the crown down, with the back leg like a straight arrow. This one you're going to feel it a lot in the quads, in the glutes, in the hammies. With these positions, it's just you're really learning how to engage a lot of the lower half of the body. For me, as I train it right now, I do it one leg at a time. You'll see, a lot of these Shaolin masters or these practitioners, they're just like, whoa. If you have the strength to do it, we can just jump from leg to leg. That's the level that you're at, doing jumps with this position. It's really about building off of it slowly. Here, once again, you can see I have my arm of my opposite leg come across to help me align my spine, align my center. And so it's really working the mobility in just different parts of our body as well. The lower you can get, the better. Alright, so now we're moving into drop stance. So I'm going to show the sequence once again. We start off in Mabu. From Mabu, we go into bow and arrow stance. From bow and arrow stance, we switch to drop stance. Now, if it wasn't already apparent, each one of these stances require a lot of mobility. And so, here I'm shifting the weight to my left leg first. As I'm shifting the weight to my left leg, I like to push that left knee outwards to kind of help start opening up my mobility. We really want to watch the ankles here. Gripping and learning to keep ourselves grounded will help develop more mobility, but here you can see my ankles move quite a bit still. That's just more mobility training I need to do. We want to start with our back to be nice, straight, and tall. The hips are still turned inwards, engaging the glutes. But we want to keep the upper body loose. In the beginning, it's not just the focus on keeping your back nice, straight, and tall, so that way you can get the alignment right. And then move into that nice loosey-goosey. of the upper body. And so, this position is just learning to really, as we're shifting that weight, we're really engaging the inner quads, the inner hamstrings. Though we are working the whole leg, is mostly focusing on the inner aspects. We're really learning to open up our hip, working that knee ankle mobility. Now, the opposite leg, it can be flat on the ground or it can twist up and point towards the sky. A couple different choices with that one. Me, I like to have it nice and flat on the ground, especially starting off. Moving on. Once again, I'm showing the sequence. Now, while doing this sequence too, we want to start learning how to align our breath. So as we inhale, we drop into the position on the exhale. We start shifting on the inhale, dropping into the position on the exhale. And so from here, we're going horse stance to bow and arrow stance to drop stance to cross stance. Working cross stance. In my opinion, this position really focuses more on the placement of our feet. Here, I'm using my right leg first. Whenever we start shifting or having to move any individual legs off the ground, we want to shift the body weight, our entire body weight, to the leg that is grounded. Then, once the body weight is aligned with the foot that is grounded, we lift the opposite leg, making it empty. Here, we're bringing that leg across to the back side. So I'm using my right leg first, shift the weight to the right, the left becomes empty, the left swings around to the back side, and as we drop down, the left is going underneath the right. Here, now I'm using my left side. So the weight shifts over to the left, the right becomes empty, the right leg swings behind the left. We're going down, the right knee is behind, poking through underneath the left knee. And once again, weight shifts, leg swings behind, then we drop. The back knee poking through underneath, the top knee in alignment with about calf level. Now, most of the body weight is on that front leg. We don't want to sit on top of the back ankle. We want to keep the muscles engaged the whole time. Once again, I suggest focusing on keeping the back nice, straight, and tall, but still the upper body is loose. Okay? Now, to train this one, a good way to do it is we just rotate the body like a spinning top, like a screw. Here, left leg twists, right leg twists, and then we come down. The feet are about 2 knuckle lengths apart. Whatever direction we're going, left arm, right leg, in harmony, twist. Right arm, left leg. Right arm, right leg, twist, in harmony, and we drop. And so this is a nice exercise to kind of help prepare that position, to help start feeling what it needs to be like. And so, once again, showing this sequence one more time. Xie Bu. Bow and arrow stance. Drop stance. Cross stance. And we finish off with empty stance. or cat stance. Alright, so now on to the empty stance. Here I'm going to be working my right leg first. I'm pointing to my left toe to show that that's the only point of contact for the empty leg, the leg with no weight, making contact with the ground. Once again, hips are tilted inwards and we come down. As we come up, I like to lift up my feet in the beginning, and then I like to use kind of the edges of my toes to help assist me to get that strength to build up with the reps. When coming down with the leg that is grounded to the floor, watch your knees. This is definitely one. Here you can see my knees are going way past my toes. And also you can see my back is hinged forward. This is an exercise that requires a lot of mobility. As you come down, make sure you're watching for your knee is still in alignment with the direction that your toes are pointing. You don't want your toes to be pointing straight and then your knee to be going all left and right, and wonky. And so this exercise, we really just want to start training that single leg balance and single leg strength. Looking up how to train the pistol squats and other exercises like that really help. I've used a number of those types of assisted exercises that help with the pistol squats. And it's really helped me increase this positioning already. Even though I'm not getting that low, I'm still proud at how low I'm getting. And so once again, I just want to show it takes time and be happy with where you're at. You ain't got to rush it. It's a process, understanding your body, understanding mobility training, understand how to develop the right strength, understand how to get yourself grounded, understand how to match everything with your breath. It's a lot and it's really awesome. And it's just enjoying the journey of it all. And so once we finish our training, we want to close it out. So once again, feet come together. Hands rise with the breath. They come together. We bring the hands to the heart. We bow and pay our respects. And then that will finish off the training session. And so something I just want to talk about real quick that I feel is important, especially here in the West, is we need to look at the pre-workout, the supplements, all these things that we're putting into our body in order to give us a false ideology of strength. I used to be one of those guys that, took the pre-workout, popped in your mouth, took the water, popped in your mouth, and, you just took it like a shot. What I realized from taking that away out of the equation completely, just stopping the pre-workout, is I seen my strength drop tremendously at first. But as I kept going without the supplements, without the pre-workout, I started seeing how I had access to my true strength at any point of the day. When we start talking about these types of practices, we start tapping into ourselves in a different way, into like a meditative state, because we're starting to relax. We're focusing the mind. We're focusing the body, the harmony of everything together in a different type of way. And these external influences like the pre-workout and the supplements really mess with our chemistry structure. So we're not realizing or able to really follow what's going on inside of ourselves. And I feel like it's more important now that we start to really break away from all of that and start looking at our food, because that's what should be sustaining us. What is it that we're eating? Because then we start getting more tuned in with the food and we start wondering, why is our food being poisoned? Or we start looking at what we're eating and we start realizing how heavy all this meat is, specifically the ground beef, the pork. I'm a meat eater. I ain't saying nothing. I ain't trying to dig on meat. But the thing is, it's very heavy, especially a lot of these processed meats. And when we're starting to kind of go down a pathway of overall health, we start just realizing what is going on inside of our actual stomachs from eating these types of meats, these types of products. And it makes us be like, oh, snap, I don't want to eat it anymore. I want to start really eating something that is going to optimize my body. And yeah, I just really think for anybody who starts going down this pathway, or for really anybody, we need to move away from the supplements, move away from the pre workout, move away from the caffeine, because it's going to help us so much more in the long run. And yeah, so that being said, make sure you go over to the Stand store, you type in White Wolf 719, and you download our free leveling guide. This leveling guide is going to help you get from level 1 to level 2 to level 3. Once you reach level 3, you are walking your purpose. You are you made a connection with God. You have made a solid foundation. Now you're starting to really understand, who am I? And you're asking, what can I do? And you're walking it and you're living it. And you're just like, oh yeah. And so go ahead, go download that. It's free. And that's going to conclude our training for today. So thank you everybody for sticking around to the end. Everybody have a beautiful and blessed day. And know that no matter what level you're at, you're doing a good job by just starting.